Heaven knows just what you need. Let all good things rain down on every planet seed. Soleah transformation, that's me. Wholeness, and welcome to Soleah Transformation. You are watching one of the hottest new podcasts on YouTube in the topics of spirituality, personal self-development, and motivation. I am Soleah T. Rayne. I am your hostess for today. And today we have an awesome, amazing topic. We're talking about dating surprises that will absolutely blow your mind. How to be courageous when you're facing them. We do have a special guest today. We have Peter. He's here anonymously, and we do give thanks for his presence. But before we dive into the topic and introduce our guests, I'd like to share something here. I have this book titled The 12 Laws of the Universe, and the very first law is the law of divine oneness. It says everything is connected. The first and most fundamental law of the universe is the law of divine oneness. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things. It says that beyond our senses, every thought, action, and event has something to do with everything else. In other words, every choice, word, desire, or belief you have affects the world and people in your life. We're all connected. You, your dog, the tilapia you ate for dinner, your boss, and Dwayne, the annoying barista at your local cafe. Is you and Dwayne both come from the same place and are energetically connected. This may be hard to believe because our egos are so good at highlighting our individuality as well as our differences. Of course, we are separate people, but this is only for one level of reality, the physical level. You and I are both physical expressions of the same energy. In fact, all living things are the manifestation of the same source energy. This is the law of divine oneness. And then there's a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. He says, people normally cut reality into compartments and so are unable to see the interdependence of all phenomena. To see one in all and all in one is to break through the great barrier which narrows one's perception of reality. Now, I know you're probably wondering what does that have to do with dating, but last week we started a series on how to become the woman who gets her man with Ophelia Brown. And we went through a list of archetypes of men and personalities and what they present in relationships. So Peter is actually here to demonstrate one of our rules of engagement. And what we were talking to the women about in the first rule was know your man and his wants. So for instance, if we were to meet Peter out in the world somewhere, this is who we would encounter, and let's see how we would deal with the things that he presents. So Peter, go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Once again, welcome.
Hello, greetings. Thank you for having me here. Well, I am 39 years now. I am single. I believe to be, I'm not American, by the way. English is not my native language. I believe to be more than a straight man. It's not easy to say that to women, especially when more than the simple subjects of dating. I believe to be pansexual, but I present myself as straight. It's not an easy topic because many times you feel like it's not easy to open yourself to someone because you feel judged or they will turn you away instead of hearing you or trying to understand. I am making myself clear. I feel attraction to men, but especially towards women because I fall in love by them romantically. With men is
Okay, you're
more
giving us a
physical feeling.
big
Yeah.
bomb, Peter. Let's take a quick second and pause. I'm grateful that you're sharing so much, but would you share that on the first date with a woman?
No, impossible.
I
I've
heard that
tried.
you said that you are straight, you present yourself as straight,
Yes,
but then you went into talking about your attraction to men.
yes, that makes me particularly special. I think different, or
Okay.
perhaps not, because
Mhm.
people don't tend to come out of the closets and show what they really are. right?
True.
Even women
True.
too, men and women too. It's not very easy, because you must understand where one comes from and where one wants to go to. I think I'm
Mm.
explaining myself well. It's not easy, not easy. I don't come from an easy environment, and I feel that I got distracted, numb, blankets. I got in the darkness while growing up because I didn't have the enough nurturing, the enough presence of my parents, because they were always arguing with each other. There was domestic violence, and
Mm.
that's made myself colder or less developed. Only after their
Mm.
divorce at my 17, I started growing up and open my mind, trying to understand myself, because I had previous experiences with siblings and all same sex, and
Mm.
even with girls, but I never
Mm.
thought about it. I took it as a normal thing, not a thing to
Okay.
to to think
Can I
much
ask you
about it.
something?
Of course, of course.
I definitely respect what you're sharing, and you are in a safe place here, no judgment. But when it comes to relationships, what are you looking for? I heard you say that you're single. Are you interested in possibly marrying one day, or you're gonna stay
Yes.
single and just tell me about
No,
that?
I want to marry and have a family. I want to have
Mm.
children, and I'm aiming towards those goals. But it has been difficult to find someone
Mhm.
and to express myself truly. It's not an easy thing. Even if you go into apps that are more open, like, I don't know if I can say names, like Tinder
Mm.
or Field, that are more open,
Mhm.
where you express yourself as being interested in this or that. But
Well, would you
it's not.
change your sexual behavior once you're married? As far as would you stay monogamous with your partner?
I want to be true. I think if I find happiness with my partner, a woman,
Hmm.
maybe I'll stay. Yes, yes, monogamous, because our aims of constructing a family will be the same.
Hmm.
Maybe I live much of what I am or what I've been behind, but it has to be with the agreement, the connection that I will have with my future wife, right? If I think I'm telling this the proper way. I want someone, but I want to be open. I want she to understand me. I want to understand her
Mm.
too. I want to be open because I have these fantasies. I acted on these fantasies, as for example, they turn me on, but we can find new things. I want to be able to be known. She has to be able to know me, the true me. This is what I want.
Mm.
This is my desire for the future and for the present, because I'm
So,
still searching.
if I can clarify, you prefer to tell your future partner your deep, dark secrets and
Yes,
everything about yourself and even learn about her, but you don't want her to judge you or try to change you. You just want unconditional love and acceptance, basically, right?
yes, but I want to accept her too. I want to understand
You want to
her.
accept her
I
too.
want I want that in the base of understanding, because we must be
Hmm.
there for each other, right? But we need to know the other one, right? So that we
Mm.
avoid constructing a relationship on top of a lie. This is how I
Right.
think. And
So let's
and
go a
I
little
have.
deeper into some of the sexual activities you've had. You've mentioned being with men and women, but I think I heard you say something about some siblings. You aren't talking
Yes,
about incest, are you? Because I know
yeah,
some women, they may be okay that a man may have tried some things in his youth and slipped up and touched a boy, or you're a sports player of some kind, and y'all compare your private parts and so forth, but to go far as to have regular encounters with multiple partners of the opposite sex, the same sex. Give us an example of a time where you were dating a woman where you did open up to her and you shared some of the experiences you had. How did she respond, and how did the relationship go?
when I open it with her, she was like struck by lightning,
Mm.
but and she had a difficult time to deal with that. She even threw it a bit on my face, but then she was having issues with bipolarity, right? And I wanted her to find some help. I wanted to go with her. I wanted to help her, but I never understood that she had a similar past like me, and she was struggling with it and trying to hide it much more than I was trying. I was trying to connect with her very deeply because I really cared for her. I really liked her, and I was trying to create an even strongly bond because I wanted to take this out of my chest, out of my memories. I don't
Mm.
want it to be just a part of myself. I want it to be the whole, complete. Well, it hurted me a bit, of course, a reaction, but then I found out that she had similar interactions with siblings. If I can name it, she had an interaction with her father, and it was a game change because she grew up until their parents divorced, and then because her father was very mean towards them, to the family, and he drank a bit, but then he got
Okay.
better. Yeah, he did treatment, and there was one day she was already adult, and she was at his home. She was watching a pornographic movie of his that he had eaten at home, and
Mm.
they come across. The way he touched her, because it was so different, because there was a confusion with love and sexual attraction, perhaps. It was so different, because she used it to argue with her, punish her, and then there was
Mm.
this loving, understanding man, and that clicked. That clicked into them having a sexual relationship, and I wasn't aware of it. She also had a sexual relationship with her brother because after the divorce, because they had to sleep together, they
So
connected.
you said that she had an encounter with her father,
Yes,
and
at his
this was
home.
something that you've experienced as well. Give me
Yes,
more about
it's
your own experiences. So we see that this woman has some experiences as you have had. Have you been with your father, your mother, or
I've been with my brother. It was my first time, and we just rubbed with each other. It wasn't like seeing each other, you know. It's because we were hypersexual. It has to be with the bad environment at our own,
Mhm.
because we were in need of affection. So we did that. And that went on for some times. We grew up into other things, into more interaction. We didn't have like a bad intention with that. It didn't disturb our relationship out of that. It was a personal thing between us. But then because
Mm.
I did that with him, I once saw my father. He was drunk asleep, and I tried to do the same thing, to go on top of him and rub myself on him.
Mm.
So it started like that with my father. I also had some things with my mother, but she wasn't well at the time, so it got interrupted. Later on, when I was already adult, I got involved again with my mother when attempting to speak with her. I was single
And you
already.
say an adult? What age did you have intercourse with your mother?
I was already 24.
How did how did she make sense of this? Like you said that she
Oh,
was on medication at some point, right? When you
it,
first like
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I first tried to do something with her, it was a thing, a very innocent thing, because I went to her bed when she was asleep with medication. And because I felt I missed her, because she was on medication for 12 hours. I was missing her at home, and she had to be laid down and at rest because of my father, because he broke out all of her nervous system, and I had innocent trying to her, try to rub myself on her,
Mm.
and I always got like very emotionally affected by it, because I felt like empty because there was not a kind of reciprocates feeling, because I wanted her to speak to me. I wanted her to do something to me, in an innocent way. It wasn't the thing I thought about it, it was in my mind, it was not developed. I didn't have those complex structures of sexuality, of what was wrong, didn't even thought about incest, but it led
So
to
you
me.
didn't think that it was wrong what you were doing as far as the word incest and it being a taboo thing. You just wanted affection.
I wanted affection. I was so disconnected from my family members, and because of my father, we got
Mm,
so isolated while growing up that I got lost. Only after the divorce,
mm,
when peace came, I started thinking about things. Well, I tried to open
mm,
myself to my ex, and she didn't take it that well. And then when she got onto herself, and spoke with me again, started opening. Well, she told me those things, I felt like I wasn't alone.
mm. You
Do
saying
you
the
understand?
girlfriend that you had?
Exactly, my ex. She was,
Your ex.
she wasn't, I don't think she was like pansexual, but more like bisexual or bi-curious. Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
I think
okay.
in a certain way, because we lacked our parents or father and mother figures, we got attracted to
Mm,
those kind of figures, and that reflected on our adult life. And those
okay.
experiences that we had at that time, we brought it into the adulthood. But into the adulthood is a bit harder to act on them. She
Mm.
had a thing that I couldn't do, because she wanted me to treat her in a harsh way, in a bad way, Yeah,
Oh.
to argue with her, because that's how her parents worked. Her father was always being mean. I told her I cannot do that, because it's not me. Because one thing I promised to myself,
Mm,
it was not to be like my parents or even yours, because they were alike.
mm,
And I find it
mm,
in a kind of a sad, amazing way, that even we are different, we got together and we have similar pasts. I wonder how many people in the world are like this, and they don't know open to others. They seem to be afraid of opening, like they were going to expose fractures or weak points of themselves, as if others were preparing themselves to attack them. I think
So,
it
Peter, if you
shouldn't be
will,
like that. Yes.
I want to know. You said that this is your ex, and was it because of the fact that she wanted you to be violent towards her that ended the relationship, or what actually ended the relationship, if you don't mind?
Her bipolarity got worse,
Mm,
and she didn't want to act on it, try to go to the doctors and me, speak out. She was having problems inside of her own family, and that made it all worse.
mm,
And I wasn't able to cope with it. Imagine half of a week you are adored. There is a frenzy, like if she was a nymphomaniac, she adores you. But the other half of the week, she picks on small things. She tries to pick with you. She argues with you. She's trying to fight with you. It doesn't make sense. I really tried.
mm,
I talked to her. I told her I go with you. Please, you need help, and it didn't work out. There, of course, there
okay.
was other things, because we even tried to experience sex with others. It made the things
So y'all got involved in polyamorous
yes,
relationships,
yes. The way
men, women.
men and women, yeah. The way I found out about
Oh,
her was because she got unemployed, and
okay.
she started dating her best friends on my back. And there was a day
Mm,
I found out, and there was a day I went to work, but I came back. I faked that I was going to go to work. I came back 2 hours later, and I
mm,
caught them in action. I even filmed so that I wasn't made crazy because there was two people there and I was the only one. Maybe they will tell that I was inventing everything, you know. After that, she tried to explain herself. I think she tried to go into my human side, and she exposed
Your what
herself
side?
human side to be more empathic, more caring, because she
Or
had a
she
similar
tried to appeal
story.
to your human nature, is what you're saying?
Exactly, because I had a similar story
Oh.
like her. That's when she opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, things went on. We got involved with a female cousin of her and the husband.
The female
Things,
cousin was married,
yeah,
and
yeah. So we
oh,
stayed with
okay.
her husband as well. Things went. They upgraded. They become more hardcore. I don't want to shock anyone. We had a relationship with our own father.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't want to shock you people.
You had
Sorry.
sex with your girlfriend's father
Yeah,
and watched her have sex with him as well.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I know this is just. Let's take a pause.
Okay.
I know my audience, they're cringing right now. Many of us, because I speak to a lot of middle aged women, and many of us are reinventing ourselves, attempting to do things that would correct our issues or errors from our youth. And we're thinking that, okay, there's a possibility of a perfect mate. And we look to see what we need to do, how we can become a better future wife. And then we look to meet men and learn about them to see how we can please them and so forth. But to recognize that there are hidden truths, experiences that have been had on the part of a future mate, it's very daunting when it comes to the dating scene. Like, I know many of us would want to say, mm, is it safe out there? Like, yes, we're in 2024 and there are polyamorous couples. They have the little swingers clubs out there. I'm in New York City, so everything is fair and game in New York City. But what messages would you like to give to even future children? Like, how can we raise our children in this society? And knowing that this is happening, do you feel, even on the spiritual level, I think I'm having a loaded question here. Do you see that there's an energetic influence, like a demonic force that's driving you to do this? Or do you feel like it's all love and like something of a heightened spiritual interaction? Hopefully that makes sense when you're able to answer. Let me know if I need to clarify.
I I believe that it is all love that is happening, but maybe demoniac influences took us our childhood or our capability of speaking with each other, connecting in a real level, in a
Mm,
real emotional level. I believe that it is all love. We are searching for love,
okay.
even though it was taken from us, the capacity to do so, because while growing up till I am 39 now, to my current age, I was deprived of certain things, of certain
Mm,
should teach me how to love. I didn't have a good
mm,
childhood. I didn't find good relationships, so that's why I'm struggling for now to find someone can be true with myself. And I'm trying, yeah, that's it. I am now currently trying
mm.
to find the true. I'm walking, trying to walk into the light. The brighter, the better, if it
Okay.
makes any
Have you
sense.
seen other families that teach their children that this type of behavior is okay? Or do you think it's mostly an adult thing?
I think it's most of an adult thing, but I believe there are families that do that. What I advise you as a parent, to everyone that is listening, is to be very present, to supervise, to be part
Okay.
of. Don't turn your back on people. Don't leave your kids alone. Teach them.
Mm,
Knowledge is power. If they are prepared, they can handle anything. There are kids with 5 and 6 and that learned how to drive, at their barns, at their
Oh.
farms. I've seen that on YouTube, so they are
Mhm.
very capable. And they know all
Okay.
the whole pieces of the tractor, the wheels, the motor, they know all of that.
Hmm.
So everyone is very
Okay.
capable, but we need to give a very personal love background to each one. It's our duty as a society, as a parent, as a mother, as a father. It's our duty as a neighbor.
Mhm.
We should love more. The Dominic
Okay.
incense is the we can talk about that in a way that we got deprived of certain things that we are lacking. They
Hmm.
sometimes don't come back to us because there is none
Hmm.
there. And it's better if we
Well, I
try to
definitely want
start
to
to
address
think
that.
about it.
Because you're mentioning, I heard you say the demonic incest is something that we definitely want to correct and get driven out of us. And I usually say us as a general way of communicating. But I want to read another paragraph in this text from the 12 Laws of
Please.
the Universe. And actually, the author is Manhardeep Singh. In the same first law, it says, let's go one step further. When we are all connected, your thoughts and actions affect everyone. We believe that we can go around in the bubble of our own life without affecting the people, communities, and the environment around us. In some cases, the effect is obvious and immediate. You have an argument with your friend and then regret it. Sometimes it's an indirect effect and you never notice it. When you hold the door open for a stranger who feels invisible to the world, that simple gesture of acknowledging his presence brightens his entire day. Every single atom inside of you is connected in some way, shape, or form to the rest of the universe you move through. Bringing this to a more universal dialogue and concept, many of us who suffer with different issues, mental issues, physical issues, relationship issues, there's someone else on the planet who's suffering the same thing. And more than likely, it's hundreds of thousands or more. And many of us think that it's so easy to be normal, quote unquote normal, but a lot of us are holding things in and repressing behavior. But one thing about what you shared today, Peter, it's very beautiful that you're able to speak your truth and express what has happened. There are those who may judge you and put labels on you and want to throw holy water on you and so forth. But when we acknowledge where we are and where we want to be, then we can shift through that channel between point A and point B. But most people get bogged down between the points of the past and the points of the future. But I just want to say thank you for your courage and sharing with us. We do want to do a meditation because what I see is needed in society today is the oversight and the inner sight of where we are as a whole, as a collective. Everything that we see in our societies, in our communities, even in our government, everything is here because we've allowed it, we've perpetuated it, we've moved with it in tandem. And I'm not saying for anyone to go in and be against this and against that and eradicate this and eradicate that. No, what we can do in a loving manner is recreate our world in a positive, loving society. So, one point you brought out was that those of you who have children need to pay attention to them. Don't leave them alone with people that you don't trust and that you haven't vetted and that you know will keep them safe. But it pays to truly, truly hold on to knowledge and be wise. Use that for your advantage, for your growth, for your evolution, and hopefully your transformation. For those of you who don't have your own personal therapists, I recommend that everyone on the planet gets a therapist, a consultant, someone who they trust, a spiritual advisor, some way, form, or fashion. Get help, get to that place of wholeness within yourself. And so we want to do this meditation. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the music. We're going to take some deep breaths. But the affirmations we're going to say today are: I am grateful for knowledge because knowledge is power. Repeat after me. I am grateful for knowledge, because knowledge is
I'm
power.
grateful. I'm grateful for knowledge because knowledge is power.
Breathe in through. I give thanks for feeling safe and comfortable in telling my truth. Again, I give thanks for feeling safe and comfortable in telling my truth. And lastly, everything I need to know will always be revealed to me. Everything I
Every-
need to know will always be revealed to me. Second. Coming forward to the present. This is one of our rules of engagement. Get to know your potential mate. And when you are filled with light and love, healing can happen. And you can have everything you desire because you are worthy and you will know that you're worthy. Thank you, Peter. Any last words before we end the podcast?
Yes, I'm very grateful for being here. I'm very grateful for what you did for me and for us. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for that. Thank you. So, for everyone who's watching, we want to give thanks. And normally we do have a moment of letting everyone know that we are operated by donations. This podcast is certainly here as a labor of love. So, if you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the YouTube channel for sure. So you and tap the button so you can get the notifications of when we're posting videos, when we're going live, however it's going to happen, and give us your love and contributions. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. Thank you. Until next week. We're airing every single Monday.
Heaven knows just what you need. Let